So what has this lost kind of brought to your attention about God that you haven't noticed before?
Yeah. Oh, there are a few things, but I do think that the most was Donnie's servant heart. Uh, um, he had a servant heart, like when Jesus walked the earth. It reminded me how a little bit of that Jesus was, or still is. It's that servant heart that he had towards me and the people around him, and we speak a lot about that. It's like this unselfishness that you are much more important than I am, and learning that, and also. Um, Before the few days before his passing, it's as if I think back now that God has prepared me for Donnie's passing. And in that preparation, it's like something sits in your heart and you feel like it's being squeezed, but you also know there's a presence. There are a few things that actually happened, uh, you know, before his passing, that I knew was God, but that the comfort afterwards. We were driving, one of the ones was we were driving we just went and bought a few groceries, and suddenly, we have been having very deep conversations, always. And I told him in the car, I think it was a Monday or the Tuesday afternoon, God's unconditional love is so big that the way that Donnie loved me, I've experienced unconditional love, and how if that is just a little bit of an example of what God's love is for us, we won't be able to stand upright. And I remember I started crying because, and Donnie said, "Don't. It's okay. It it's just how I love you." But it was the dawned ingrained into my spirit that God's love is so big and so unconditional that if we can show on earth for each other what that little bit of unconditional love is, we'll live different lives. And I'm so grateful that Donnie could really show me, because if I always thought I had to prove who I am. I have to prove my worthiness, because aren't we all like that? We always think we have to prove something. And with God, we don't have to prove anything. With Donnie, I didn't have to prove anything. I could just be. And that is what God wants us to be. He just wants us to be, because out of that beingness, we will flourish. All our talents will just flourish, because we don't have this thing of I have to prove myself. I can just do it. And if I just do something that I love, that's ingrained in my spirit, I'll be fantastically good. Doesn't matter what. And that I get, the hair stands up straight, and in my heart I know that is one of the biggest messages God wants us to realize.